Thank you all so much for stopping by today. So I really wanted to do a quick video to show you what the garden is looking like, y'all, after 2 days of rain, steady rain. It started easing up a little bit, but just to put in context how much rain we had, this wheelbarrow was empty. And this is about the amount of rain that we had. I'm keeping it here because I'm going to get ready to like dump it in the flower beds, good rainwater. But I can suspect that over probably the next few days, this whole bed of snapdragons is going to be just so beautiful. If I remember correctly, these are the sonnet snapdragons. They get about 18 to 24 inches in height, but I think I alternated pink and white on them. So I'm going to try to move as quickly as possible because this is why I always love the rain. Like, it's just a jump in growth on everything. Now I want y'all to hit the subscribe button because I need to come in and feed these strawberries. But as you can see, they are starting to get the blooms. This is our container garden that we planted up. It has the speed well, so probably towards May or June we'll start to get the purple spikes. And then this is what we planted for the springtime, but I am going to change them out. The blooms are starting, and we had one that still looks a little, but it seems like it's coming back. And then over here our phlox is starting to come out. I'll show you where some other phlox, the same variety as this, is really starting to take color. This bed right here we cleaned up. We have some phlox, some salvias that the bees are absolutely loving, and a few snapdragons right here. Because I have so many containers, I am just kind of putting them out in the garden. But these are going to be tulips. They're slowly but surely coming up. We do have some that were early blooming tulips that have bloomed, and then we're going to end up switching those out as well. So it's almost time to pull this lettuce. This was the Asian mix, and it had like mustards, and the mustards were not supposed to be this big, y'all, but we still going to find a way to use them inside a true garden to table. I'll find use for them. But if you remember, we direct sowed some sweet peas, and so now they're starting to take shape and they're starting to climb themselves on the trellis. And I'm going to flash up a picture because today we actually went ahead, harvested our broccoli, because I felt that with the temps going back up in the 80s this week, that if I let them, they would start to go to flower. But what I can tell you is it's no comparison to homegrown. It's absolutely no comparison. Y'all, I just started eating broccoli maybe like a year ago. I would eat it, but it would have to be really, really small. I had some broccoli at a restaurant that was actually cut up small, and I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. So I grew some, and it's just like the best. But the reason why we still have the leaves is because I am going to use these leaves. Like, I'm going to put, not a lot, but I'll put some like in our juices. And then also we do have some side shoots that are coming on. I'm not sure if they're going to make it, but until I start switching it out with a lot of the heat loving plants, then we're just going to leave them just like this. So moving along to this bed, we got the collards that are growing, the cabbage, the purple cabbage that is starting to grow in the front. Now, this is a bed where we put the straw mulch down, and you can see exactly what it is doing. So I'm just going to come in, put on my timer. That's how I get a lot of beds cleaned out. I'll put on my timer. To clean out a bed like this, it's probably going to take me about 15 to 20 minutes. So we'll clean these out. And then it also did the same to the straw mulch over here. But we've been really harvesting this arugula. This is more cabbage that I'm hoping is going to make it. And then I had started some celery from seed. So you can see them right along in the back. We'll see if it makes it. We got dill in here. We have bachelor buttons, and then we got the lime thyme that really smells so good. So this is another kind of mixed bed with a lot of mixed salad greens, but right here we have some shallots. I got some onions over here. I'm gonna see how big they'll be. I kind of started them a little bit late. I put some sage right here, some marjoram that we grew from seed. And if y'all remember, I told you that we moved from the Savannah to the Atlanta area, and so I never had to lift my dahlias out the ground. And I was like, I'm gonna try it out. So I left all the dahlias. We got some in ground, and we also had some in the raised bed. And so all I did was like just cut it back. As you can see, like I cut it back down here. So I do know that the dahlias don't have to be lifted in the raised beds because they're starting to come back up. But let me tell you about these carrots. It took forever for them to germinate, and normally they don't take that long. So we'll see what we're gonna do with that. And then here is more of like the alfresco lettuce, the Asian lettuce blend, and then also some arugula. And stay tuned, y'all. Let me tell you, I love this lettuce blend so much because it's really easy to grow. But I think we're going to start selling this blend online. Now here in Georgia, zone 8A, it is a little bit, it's starting to warm up. So lettuce for us is a cool weather plant, but probably in our fall kits and probably just separately, because we're going to start adding seeds to our online website, we will include this blend. I'm trying to get in touch with a supplier that can make sure that we have a lot, but I really have been harvesting this and just eating a whole bunch of lettuce. So I hope you all can see, because it is a beautiful day. It's about 68 degrees, but this is another bed that we're gonna have to clear out, clean out. I'm not gonna clear these yet because we got marigolds that we started from seed that may go here, but these are our garlic chives right here in the middle. The yarrow, this is the ornamental yarrow for me. I'm not using it for medicinal purposes, but it's starting to bloom. And then as you can see, we cut our broccoli and we just left everything in here. This bed I'm going to have to work on as far as the pest, and I am going to put the link in the description, y'all. We just built our own custom GPT, and it helps troubleshoot garden pest if you can recognize it, and it helps tell you what to do and how to treat it organically. Just some different things that you can do. So I'm gonna have to spot this one. This was like a leafy green that we planted, but it was either good for, and I cannot remember the name. I'm so sorry, y'all, but it was like an Asian green, and it was good for cool weather, but it also said it was good for heat as well. So we'll see. I have to clean this out, but we're also getting, I'm gonna get closer. We're also getting volunteer sunflowers, because you know we had sunflowers right here, and this might be, y'all, hold on, y'all make sure you subscribe, because this might be coming up of the dahlia in ground. We also had dahlias in ground last year as well, and I was like, we're just gonna see. You know how I was telling someone the other day, I put up a poll, and you know how some people tell you what you can and what you can't do when it comes to the garden. And I always say, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but I am one of those ones that let me test it out and see, and I'll let you know. I know we do have red Georgia clay soil. I know it was a chance that I was taking with my dahlias, but I'm just like, let me test it out, and then we can see. And it may be different from year to year, but I always like to test out for myself. Okay, so over here we got some more gems. The flowers, you can see they're starting to put on blooms as well. And then our walking onions, honey, they about to get ready to start walking. You can see that they're putting on the bulbils or bubbles on the top. And soon they'll get top heavy and they will start to walk, which is why they call them Egyptian walking onions right here, but I just think that's so cool. And we have been able to split a lot of the Egyptian walking onions and make new plants with them. This is a plant, it's a type of salvia that I actually started from seed last year. Oh, it's gonna be purple, because I was gonna say, y'all, I'm not sure what color it's gonna be, but I can see the purple. Last year it did not bloom, but we got some growth. I cut it back once I started to see new growth. But as I shared, it is going to be purple. I wasn't sure, but we started this salvia from seed. It is a perennial. It did take the 13-degree weather that we had here in the Atlanta area. We did lose the Arctic frost that we planted last year. We lost that one. It was supposed to be able to withstand temperatures down to 10. And then we just put some phlox right here. And this one was actually a type of blanket flower. I don't think this is going to come back. All of my other blanket flowers have came back, but not this one. But I'm super excited to see this flower. I know it's going to be really pretty. And we started these from seed. So this is our bed of different varieties of beets. This particular one, I got a feeling that it's about to go to seed, but I am going to be able to harvest some beets, and we're going to use those in our juices right here. And you can use a few beet greens, but I'm always careful about like taking a break from beets because of the oxalates in there, but that's a whole nother class, y'all. And then we have a bed of garlic over here with some chives that are about to get ready to flower. And then I'm gonna put a vegetable right here. Y'all know I always like planting like vegetables, flowers, herbs all together. We cleaned this area out, cut these phlox back. This is where I got bit by the no-see-ums that you all told me about. But we're going to slowly start harvesting those beets, and then we're going to put some vegetables here. And then this is the agastache. I want to say these are, I think this is like a sunset type variety. It has like a peach and pink color when it does bloom. I thought we were going to lose this one, but it came back. This one I was fine with. And then as we turn around, we have some more red cabbage. We got dill that is looking good, y'all. I love I wanted to grow a lot of dill. I really did. We got about 6 plants, but dill for us is also a cool weather plant. And then we got our flowers, our speedwell, Veronica speedwell, mixed in with our snapdragons. But I've had this plant since I've been here. This is the MVP of the garden, y'all. I don't use it for seasonings because I got another lemon thyme, so I just let it go to flower, and the pollinators love it. But this is lemon thyme, and I just really want y'all to get like a good look of how big it's gotten. And it started off with one. Having a pest issue over here. I know it's the slugs. I'm telling y'all, I know it's the slugs. I just haven't taken the time that I really need to just treat it. But I am going to put some sluggo on here. And then soon, because I can tell a lot of our violas and our pansies, they're starting to get leggy. But I just need them to hold out while I start zinnia seeds, while I start marigold, and while I start a lot of our heat-loving plants. I do have some petunias that I've started from seed, but I just need these to hold out just a little while longer. So our cilantro has went to seed, but this is the fall planted cilantro. I'm gonna get a little bit closer because all of these little cilantro plants right here, these are spring planted. So I planted these in spring, and this was one that was planted in fall. It is starting to get the little white blooms on here, which the pollinators love, and soon it'll make coriander. But just depending on what the weather is looking like over the next week, I'm probably gonna pull it. I have so many coriander seeds, which I replant and start with cilantro all over again, that we can pull it. And I think we have enough things in the garden blooming right now where the pollinators will be okay if I pull it. The hot and spicy oregano is starting to come back, And then we just have the winter savory. This is a perennial for us, and it survived the 13-degree weather. So it's starting to come back, and I have those planted on both sides right here. And then this is another viola that we actually planted from seed that is starting to get leggy as well. I took a chance on these cosmos, but they have done really good. We got down in the upper 30s last night, but I put these out probably about 3 weeks ago because I had them inside, and I really needed to put them, like pot them up, but I didn't have a space for them at the time, so I took a chance to just see. But I love these so much that I actually started some more seeds that we're just going to pop in the raised garden beds, because they're super easy and they're really pretty. So along the front we have snapdragons that are starting to bloom, and then we have alternating red and just the red and the white cabbage. We'll see if that makes it. But I really want to show y'all this because, so now we got the sump pump working for the basement so that it doesn't flood. But when it really rains hard like it did, there's a, what do you call it, like the ground is not flat. And so a lot of times when we start to get a lot of water and then the water kind of runs here, it makes this. And so I'm glad at the time, because I wanted to see what would happen. I'm kind of glad that I didn't have anything planted, but I'm also thinking if I plant something here, it may help with this right here, with this area not doing this as much. I don't know, y'all let me know in the comments. I'm not one that's like a general contractor or anything like that, and y'all know how they talk about erosion all the time. So I'm thinking if I can plant something right here, maybe that will help with the runoff. Not sure, but I want to show y'all. I'm gonna try to link that video with the containers that we did probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago. So do y'all see the growth on this? Like, it's so pretty right here. We have the alyssum, the pansies, and then our I think this is a baby boxwood gem. Is starting to get a lot of growth on this because we eventually want to train, these to be in the shape of this topiary right here. So this is our container of lavender that is starting to take on new growth. I feel like I need to split it again. I've split it once, but I feel like I need to split it again. Right now, this is like my favorite part of the in-ground garden. I don't know why. It's probably because of these Shaberti alliums. Like, they just look like little fireworks to me. They really do. And they're so pretty, but all of them didn't come back up. And it could be because of me. Remember I said that we have like wild onions in here as well. And so probably as they were coming up, I may have suspected that, and I might have pulled it. It could be me. It could be me. But I'll make sure that I get more in the future because I really like them. And remember I told you the phlox at the beginning. So we have some that are starting to bloom. But I just love these. Like, they are so pretty when all of them start to bloom. And let me tell y'all, they bloom pretty much. They'll start now, and you see that they're going to put on a lot of blooms. But then in the summer, they'll still bloom, not as much. But then they'll start to bloom in the fall again. And then we cut them back. I will not let them start to get so much new growth before I cut them back, because I really had to like dig down in the plant. But we'll cut them back, but I'll make sure that I keep you all posted. And then we also have some snapdragons on this side, and I share it with you all in a short. Like, these are my favorite right here, and I only got one tray of them, and I don't know the name of them, and I don't know if they'll have more, but they're really pretty. They get about 6 to 8 inches, but someone was telling me that they actually multiply and you can divide them, and I hope that's the case because I definitely will. And then the cat pajamas, cat mint, these are starting to bloom, and we got 2 more that we have to place. And I'm really thinking about, once I pull up these snapdragons, I may take 2 of those and put them right here. So I want to show you Pollinator garden really quick, because this is what we're going to have to work on, like when I make my list out. See, these are the wild onions I was telling you about right here. So sometimes I can mistake them, and that's probably what happened. But here's the thing, I love this salvia. I didn't cut it back, honey. I was supposed to come in and cut all of this. I didn't do it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna come in and clean it up, because it's starting to get new growth, and it's actually starting to put on blooms. But this is what I say about different plants. It just depends. So all three of these made it, and these are perennials. But these two, the same red ones, honey, they did not come back. They didn't come back, and one of the blanket flowers, I think, over here didn't come back. I'm going to have to move this. This is a daisy plant right here, because I can tell this butterfly bush is going to shade that maybe a little bit too much. But I just got to come in and clean. But a lot of the things are starting to come back up. This was one type of blanket flower as well. The black and blue salvia is coming up, and then like the false indigo, which I was like, oh, please come back up. But it's starting to come back up as well. And this time I'm going to make sure that I push this in and train it, because one of them was like falling really bad last season. And then this is another bed of garlic over here with some gem that we're gonna have to deadhead and some other things. But it got a really, really good rain. I can tell just by that rain how thick the stalks are starting to get. So we'll have a pretty good harvest of garlic this season. So this is another bed over here, and I cut this sage back so hard. We cut that back, and look at it. Oh my gosh, it's just amazing. The oregano that we have right here. Now I am gonna stop playing games. This is the heuchera turnips, and I really need to come in and just thin them out. We direct sowed them. That's another thing I don't like to do. I don't like to thin things out, but I'm gonna have to do this. And we're gonna thin them out about 4 to 6 inches apart. Then we have our flowers in the middle that are coming back. And then this was the kales, the collared kale that I planted a little bit late, but with the rain it's starting to put on a little bit of growth, but we'll see if it does make it. And then right here, this is like a golden oregano, because part of my regular oregano plant, and I think it was the Italian oregano, because y'all forgive me if I get them mixed up, but one, like this one, is more of a trailing one, and then one like this one is more of a mounding one. And so it took some damage in the middle from the cold this last winter, and so I just pulled it out, because I got other oregano that I started from seed, and then we got some in the herb garden. And so I just didn't want a big gap like right in the middle, and then like only the outer leaves were fine. And then the foxley thyme over here, this is one of my favorites. I don't use this for cooking. I just mainly use it because I like to look at it, and I like the variation of the leaves. Now before we go to the herb garden, here's another one. We actually started these from seed. These are antique shades. These are like one of my favorite. I'm like, you got to find these seeds again. The spinach, all of this we started from seed. It's starting to take on growth. And then we have our snapdragons mixed in with the salvia. And the way it works, I know it looks close, but in the fall time, the speedwell kind of, stops, and we cut it back just a little bit. But I put the snapdragons in so that we can have some fall and winter color right here. And then we have like collards. This is more of the winter savory, because we also got summer savory as well growing. And then this is another time that I just let go to flower and just let the pollinators have at it. So it's some time in some herbs that I'll let flower specifically for the pollinators, and then others we will harvest it, we'll use it in our teas, or we'll put it online. Now I came in and I cleaned out the saffron right here. I took a chance with these peppers. This is called garden salsa pepper, I think. I went ahead, I topped them off. We did a video on that. I'll link it. But we've had some cold nights, so I took a chance. But they're surviving. They're gonna pick back up growth later. And then we have another chive plants right here, and then more spinach. So the herb garden is also part of the garden that needs attention. I have not even started on it. I did plant some things, and I'll show you in a minute, but our Moroccan mint is coming back, and we're actually going to use some of this in our tea blend. I got a beautiful tea blend that's really tasty that I want to share with you all. Our figs are starting to grow again. This is the exact same container garden as up front, almost. I think we lost this bay leaf plant right here, but we have one on the patio, and then our trailing rosemary. And then this is like the entrance of the herb garden. Now over here, this is the time that I use for seasonings, for teas, for dressing. And then this was the type of oregano that we had that kind of took some damage in the middle. It looks like this did too, but that's okay. We're gonna leave this right here. And 3 of our lemon verbenas are starting to grow back, and so I need to cut all of this down. I don't know if this is going to come back. I'll give it a few more weeks. And our true anise, this is the true hyssop right here, and this is the anise hyssop right here. I think I'm going to pull this up and move it. Lemon balm coming back beautifully, really beautiful, and it really likes this area right here, because a lot of times herbs you can grow in like partial shade, but I remember growing lemon balm in Savannah in like full sun, and the leaves would like burn, but it's right up under this magnolia tree, so it appreciates like some sun, but not to where, you know, it's just being full sun all day. And we got to come in and we got to clean this up too. My priority, y'all, is to get this holy basil planted. This is where it was. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we have volunteers popping up, but we grew 3 different types of holy basil, and so I wouldn't know which one was which. The pomegranate plants are coming back. Our horseradish that we got and started from bare root, we did a video on that. This is coming back up, and then we just got some plants back here we have to really try to get something done with. This is like the holding area, and I need to come back here and get this right. This is a new plant that I bought, like the kinks. It was so pretty. It was just like a really pretty bloom color, but it's for the birds when the like fruit starts to come on. So I started some bare root peonies, and they're starting to come up. The one that's in the front is starting to come up, and that is because of the rain. I promise y'all, last week I looked at it and I was like, ooh, I don't think it's coming up. So I had to go back through my phone and look at the pictures from last year and see when did it bloom. And so I think it's right on time, but just all of a sudden it popped up. Now this is our herb garden. The calendula, this is what we sell online. We started some new calendula plants right here. This is the Resina calendula, high medicinal counts. Now I grow all type of ornamental calendula, like the bun calendula, but this one is for like the herbs, what we use in tea and what we use in our salves as well. Okay, so right here we got some lavender. We got some more lavender we have to plant, because last year when we offered our unplug and unwind new herbal tea blend, and everything was grown in the garden, we ran out of lavender. And so I said, this will not happen again. So I have probably about 4 more lavenders that I have to plant. Our bee balms are coming back up. I got a feeling I'm gonna have to separate them, y'all. And then I have some parsley that I planted from seed. We got some borage that we planted from seed. The violet the medicinal ones that we planted here from seed, it was one right here. Out of all of the ones, this one didn't make it. And this is what I say, like if you garden plan, some of them are not going to make it. You see how some of them are flowering and looking good, but no matter, you give everybody the same treatment, and one of them just don't, maybe he just didn't want to be outside. I don't know. But we also have Zatar, which I feel like is a mix between oregano, thyme, marjoram, and rosemary all mixed together. And I do actually have a few more that we started from seed that I'm just going to put in other parts of the garden. And I still have this space to fill right here. And I just got to figure out, like, what do I want to put right here. On this side, we have more of the Moroccan mint that we'll be using that's coming back. And I just did this little container right here, y'all, because the sage was in there all alone, and so I decided to give him some company. This is more lemon thyme, and then our hibiscus is coming back. Last year I caught this on clearance for like $5. It's these big, like, burgundy red blooms that were just so pretty. And so they're starting to come back, which means we need to cut all of this back. This is what I got to get on when it comes to cutting back. And then let me show you the rose garden. I did put up a short about the budworms that were eating some more roses, but we're just going to have to take action on some of these as well. Let's make a quick detour. We're going to have to work on this bed too, y'all. Like, we really going to have to get started working on things as it's starting to warm up. I got a couple of more blueberries that I need to plant. And then the strawberries. I had some paper that we had on here. I got to get these up under control too, and just get everything lined up. I started working on these. Like I told y'all, we got to line everything up. I got to come in with my hoe and really clean around the area, lay down cardboard. I got my cardboard ready. And I don't know, I think somebody said wood chips would be pretty, because I didn't know if I wanted to do wood chips or if I wanted to do the gravel, but they're starting to come into bloom. These are the drift roses right here. I took y'all's advice. So right here are like daisies. I'm hoping this salvia come back. I think if I read the description right, this was a salvia that you probably wouldn't see start coming back to life until like May, but we'll see. If not, we got something we can pop in here. I got more salvia. But as you start to walk down the aisles, it's going to go, I want to say light pink to white to dark, like a darker color, and then you're going to end up more with like red. These are the first ones that are blooming right here, which I need to harvest these because we also use these in our tea as well. Oh man, which one is this one? This is Darcy Bustle. Okay, and we've grown this one in Savannah, and it's really pretty. It is really, really pretty, but we got to come in, and I do see a little pest damage right here. But as they start to bloom, like, we're going to let some on here, but we're also going to harvest some. I want to say this is Harlow Carr right here, but just standing back here, we got to get this together, and because we got blooms coming on, and I'm just going to make up my mind and just put the cardboard down, and I'm probably going to line it out or section it off so that when Chris cuts the grass that it won't be a problem. And then we probably would put wood chips around it, but we got a lot of blooms coming on. Let me show you the other part where we got a lot of blooms coming on too, y'all. I know this is gonna be, this is gonna be so pretty, but I really need to get on it. Like, I'm gonna have to carve out some time, like seriously, because we're getting up in the 80s this week. Okay, I have to stop, y'all, because with all that rain, one of my trailing nasturtiums that was just starting to get blooms on here, I have to be careful because this one right here, Y'all, it has failed. So it was a hook up here, not that one, but it was a hook up here, and I guess that gave. And so this is on the ground. This is the other one. I had two up here, and they were starting to get blooms. These were going to be like pink and purple blooms. Can y'all see them? And they actually like trail. They were for hanging baskets, but I'll get Chris to put something. I may use that hook over here. The only reason why I wasn't using this particular hook is because it was so close to another hanging basket that we had, and I thought that that was too close. It had to be right up here in the middle, but it's okay. We'll find a place to put it. Okay, so I wasn't intending to stop here, but we're gonna go ahead and stop because I saw another rose right here. This is raspberry cupcake that we got last year as well. We got these on clearance. And like I always tell people with perennials, see, a lot of times with the perennials at the end of the season, you know, they don't look too good, and people just walk on past them and, you know, just do them so wrong. But I know perennials will come back, and they're roses. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna get these. So we got 3 of those, and I see the first bloom. We also got these on clearance too. Somebody asked me, they was like, I was on a live one time, and they said, how do you feel about clearance? And I'm like, probably over half of this garden is clearance. And so the only thing about it is, you know, sometimes I try to plan the garden out, but other times it's just like sporadic. Like if I see something on clearance, I'm like, I'll find a place, and then I kind of work around it, which is what this happened. Now, these right here I got on clearance, and these are I'm looking at the tag, the Petite Poly Lavender. They're really pretty. Y'all make sure you hit the subscribe button because they're going to be pretty. Now, the reason why I'm looking, because the height and weight, these are supposed to be more like drift roses. So I don't think it's supposed to get this tall or this wide, because this one over here is starting to go to the butterfly bush that is back here, right here. Not the mulch, y'all. This one right here. We got the tulips coming up, and then these are the alliums. We got these right here, and then we got those right here. They're by 2 different brands, but actually those are on clearance. To be honest, y'all, this whole bed right here, except for the tulips, is like all clearance. Even the butterfly bushes, now that I think about it. And Chris is gonna come on the grass. He really wanted to cut it. I had stuff everywhere. And then when he was getting ready to cut the grass, you know how they give you an hour by hour? They said it was supposed to rain at 4. It was like 1, and then we just started feeling raindrops, and I'm like, okay. But I know he's gonna get to it, but that just means I need to be careful, you know what I mean? But everything's gonna look good. I'll give y'all another tour. Let's go ahead and walk on over here, because I threw some seed thrifts, and when I mean thrown, I threw some seed thrifts here because I'm trying to get a lot of the plants that are on standby planted. And that's what I mean by when I find things on clearance. Sometimes I'll get it and I just got to work around it. But do y'all see all of these blooms that are coming on? Like, this is going to be so pretty. And just like the rose garden, these are going to be white. This is the light pink. And then back here is going to be the darker rose, reddish rose, or darker burgundy. Like I said, David Austin did send me a replacement rose out, because out of all the roses, we did lose maybe 2. No, we only lost 2. We lost Eustacia Vibe, which I planted in the rose garden and is doing good, but we lost a James Austin. Well, they sent it to me, and I don't think this James Austin doing too good either. Like, it's not budding out over here. So I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes I just get like this. I'm like, let me just put another rose there that's a darker color, and I'm not about to keep going through this. But It's a lot of blooms, but I'm also looking out for the bud worms as well. The snapdragons are going to bloom, and the same salvias that they told me was an annual, they're coming back. I need to clean them up. And the spearmint is coming back too, that I just cleaned up as well along this fence line. So just in case you're thinking about putting mint in the ground, unless you want it to take over, I advise that you do not do it. Okay, y'all, so let me try to talk to my nasturtium here and get him back to life. And I got a whole patio of things that we have got to get planted. Be sure you hit the subscribe button, because here's another fall planted cilantro that is going to flower. But probably over the next week, we're going to go ahead, harvest the rest of this lettuce and start putting some of our patio type tomatoes and peppers in these containers right here. And we are just going to watch like everything grow. So I think that's really good to stop right here. Hopefully by the time I make the next video, y'all, it will not be. I was supposed to work on this all this weekend. I was working on it, but I guess it was at a real slow pace. But we're going to get it together. My begonias that I actually got from, where did I get these from? They were bare root, or not bare root, but whatever you call them. They're more like a bulb. They're starting to come out. This is actually going to go on the front porch, and then I have some bleeding heart that was actually bare root that is coming out. That's going to go on the front porch as well. I think out of 5, maybe, yep. So I planted 5, 1 didn't come up, and then these were the walking onions that we're talking about. But we're gonna get all of this done. Saturday, I spent a lot of time just really styling this as if I am in a storefront. But I'm gonna come back, water everything, because these right here, when you can tell, like, you have to water them. They're not gonna get water from above. These will, the top row, but the other ones, you have to water those. I also repotted this calla lily that's really pretty, and this is the bay leaf that I was sharing with you that is actually coming back. So again, make sure you subscribe to us, y'all. Over the next couple of weeks, we got a lot to get done. I think my next thing is going to be to really work on the rose garden and also change these containers out, because I did put up a short where we just like impromptu just bought some calibrachoas and super petunia vistas, and I had already planted like petunias from seed, but we'll find somewhere for it to go. I really love watching the bees on this salvia right here. That's going to be really pretty. So as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you share this video with your family and your friends, and if you're not a subscriber, go ahead, tap the subscribe button. Make sure you tap the bell so that you can receive notification each and every time we upload a new video. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and until the next video, bye bye.